Welcome to Incast. Oh, it's just work. Someone asking for a piercing, probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's never a tattoo. If it's a tattoo, it's some old bloke that doesn't know how to book it anymore.
Oh, okay. So he's just ringing up and asking what's the dates then?
Yeah, it's probably a piercing. Like, how old do you have to be for like an ear piercing? I'm like, I'm not the piercer. Like,
you actually get a lot of piercing phone
100%,
calls.
yeah.
Really? I've never heard that.
The thing is, though, our piercer's like, she only works one day a week,
right?
Or like maybe a day and a half. It depends.
Yeah.
But it's all to do with childcare at the end of the day.
Oh, okay.
It's impossible. Like, I know piercing's a quick thing, but she's got like 5 kids, and one's like, you know, a special needs kid, and he needs obviously the attention,
the time and that.
That.
Yeah.
You know, he's lovely and everything, but obviously you can't have kids in the tattoo studio. It just doesn't.
No, I think that'd be hard to do both full time, wouldn't it?
Yeah. One's enough.
So having those phone calls for piercing, how often do you pick them up and go, yeah, let's get you booked in, or do you just sort of go,
I just go,
we don't do it like this?
Tattoos, and then literally they'll say I have for a piercing. I went, right, okay, let me just pass you over to my apprentice.
Oh, okay, then that's fine.
Rona, she's called. She just grabs the phone and says, I'll give you a number, but Google or Facebook don't really give you the option to have multiple numbers.
No. Yeah,
I feel like websites should have things where it's like piercer's number this, but no one actually uses websites. Like, I don't feel like anyone uses websites anymore.
You reckon tattoo studio websites are a bit obsolete?
I think so, yeah.
It's a nice thing to look at because you can see who works there, portfolio, like contact page.
Tattooists need their own Instagram. They need their own thing. I don't want to be amongst the feed where there's a bunch of girls, a bunch of random sand stroking videos and stuff like that. I want to see just tattoos. I know you can just set it to what you want, but it needs to be just a tattoo one.
Yeah.
And
is most of your work comes through Instagram at the moment?
No, it doesn't actually.
No. You know what? That was one of the first times people have said no.
So, local boy of the local area of Derbyshire, Glossop.
Yeah.
So, my town has only had a tattooist for 30 years. He's a very renowned tattooist, old school boy.
How big is Glossop?
Glossop, right, okay. Probably the size of IKEA.
if you size of IKEA,
if you split it up from every floor across, then it's not that big. I mean,
what kind of population is it? Like about 10,000, 20,000
figures, but let's just say everyone knows
everyone. Everyone
knows everyone.
Oh, okay.
But obviously, like I said, there was just that one tattoo studio, him and his son, and then another one came called Tattitude from Manchester.
Yeah.
They came and left. Obviously, they realised the population just wanted loads of city badges, and then they left.
Yeah.
But then I actually started in Grimsby. I'm from Glossop, but I moved away with a girl.
Okay.
And then me and this girl broke up. And then instead of going back home, I thought, I'm going to do that, live on my own experience. Got a flat, I grinded, worked at Argos, I worked at Game.
How long ago are we speaking now? So this is before tattoos were a thing for you?
So I started tattooing in 2014.
2014?
Mad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 10-year anniversary next year.
I know, I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe
you got to do a big, massive thing for that.
I've got to do a book, you know, like one of those books that have got all my work in it and then say how bad my experiences were. Just to make it a bit, like, juicy.
Yeah.
But I think, to be honest, next year, it'd just be nice to get all my customers, get something for them, give them back what they give me, because without them, we'd be nothing.
Or do like a little bit of like an open party at the studio or something? Or,
yeah. An open party would be good. We'll just have to lock the door because 90% of the locals aren't all great to be around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some of them like the juice and like to wander around, do they?
Definitely. Start tattooing in the corner. I'm like, oh no. Yeah. But no, it's good.
So you started tattooing about 2014. And
2014,
so pre-2014, you said about you grafting and grinding and that.
Yeah, so before...
And was that still in Grimsby?
So before Grimsby, let's go back.
Okay.
To Glossop.
Yeah.
I did my education in art 4 years, and then I did games design for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
I always wanted to be a games designer. I used to make little models and loads of little things on like computer games, maps. I used to draw Pokemon. I was just really like into everything.
Yeah.
And I was very introvert. I didn't really want to go out and party like my friends did. And just
sounds like a perfect artist, really.
Yeah. So I ended up just going uni, studying games design, but I was the guinea pig year 2. So the uni had only been created the year before me.
Yeah.
So it was called FutureWorks. You know, now it's massive.
Right.
Like the best access courses to become a games designer.
Yeah.
Not putting that there for the... But
it sounds like a good plug.
A good plug, that. But the tutors were brilliant. However, we were put in a situation where it was really hard because I'm an artist. I know about computers, but I have no clue how to use programming or anything like that.
Yeah.
One tutor is an actual, like he's a famous comic book artist that does Diagraph and Peabody, like these little skeleton things.
Right.
And my other tutor worked on Barbie of all things. He 3D modeled Barbie.
Really?
When he was younger, yeah. Like,
oh, wow.
Like the games and like models and toys. And then the other tutor was a developer.
Yeah.
So when we were in this uni, I was drawing, and then it came to the part where we had to make games, and they literally went, right, this is the game engine, go learn it.
That's it?
Yeah. So we literally didn't know how to code scripts. We just copy and pasted loads of stuff.
God, that's learning the hard way, isn't it, that?
Yeah. Now they've got a tutor that does programming. Even one of the students from year 1 is now a tutor doing programming.
God.
Yeah, and a couple of my friends or colleagues, whatever you call them, in uni, are now famous. They've worked on like No Man's Sky. You ever heard that game?
I've heard of that game.
Yes.
I'm not too much of a gamer,
He's
but I've
the
heard
lead
of that.
artist at there. But
Shit.
as soon as I left, it was kind of like, you know, that old cartoon with the stick and the thing.
with a
I was like walk of shame, like, oh, what am I going to do with my life? So I just worked at Argos. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I moved to Grimsby with this girl, broke up, and then I walked into a tattoo shop called Southpaw Tattoo Studio. Now, what a weird name. Realised every artist in there is left-handed.
Oh.
And I'm like...
And you're right-handed.
I failed the application process.
So how did you get in?
Well, anyway, there was a guy called Josh Walker. I don't know if you've met him. He's from Grimsby. He's a very...
Josh Walker. I've heard the name Josh Walker, I think.
He does black and grey tattoos.
Is his name on Insta J Walker Tattoo?
I think it's J Walker Tattoo, yeah. And he was like junior artist there. And Buzz was the like old punk rock, like probably like crazy kind of guy.
Yeah.
But very old school.
Yeah.
And obviously that apprenticeship was like how I expected it.
Yeah.
You know, cleaning up.
Pretty stereotypical.
Yeah. But it was even funnier at night sometimes. He'd have a band round and they'd busk out like all cool punk rock music and stuff.
Nice.
Even got me on the drums, but I can't even play. I'm just like...
Just
awkwardly hitting it. But yeah, from that, obviously things happen in tattoo studios. Josh ended up leaving, and then I bounced from studio to studio, just trying to find. I even worked on the seafront with a guy called Paul Chambers. He's very well known, like seaside tattooist.
Yeah.
And
just trying to find your own way around and stuff.
But he taught me business. He was charging like, I'm talking about going back 2014.
Yeah.
Like a love art this big at that time was like 70 quid.
Right.
And I was like, when I was charging, he was taking 50%. So I was like, and then he wouldn't let me do deals with customers or anything like that.
That's the rate. That's the price.
He said, that's the rate, that's the price. And I realised that's what business is. Your self-worth.
Right, okay, yeah.
And that's the best thing that he gave me. And
he kind of exposed you to, not necessarily like the corporate side of the industry, it's a horrible way to say it, but like he taught you about the income side of it. Like if this is going to be your career. He basically
screwed my head on.
Yeah,
because I was trying to be friendlier. Like, you know when you'd like feel bad like for finishing 10 minutes early, I'm not money off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're well worth what you're worth.
Yeah.
You give them a quote before they came in.
That's good lessons to learn though, that is, because a lot of younger people that kind of just don't have any kind of like, not their fault, but they just dismiss all that completely, don't they?
Yeah.
They just probably go with like the creative, fun, fluffy side of it, I suppose, don't they? Without realising this is going to be your career.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure you put your foundations in place for this.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, me and that person obviously decided, I'm better off leaving and going off on my own. So that was it. I was like, right, I'll get a small little, it was like almost like a tiled room, like nail technician room at the back of a hair salon.
Yeah.
Now, this was like a 50s kind of like pin-up kind of style.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, like gumball machines, everything.
The Coca-Cola sign.
But I was in like the back room, no bigger than this, like probably half the size of this, like tucked away with all their like smelly hair products and nail stuff. And I was there for a bit, and it was interesting. It was just females, and I was the only guy, so I did feel a bit like bit macho in there. But then, obviously the feminine side of me came out. But then I decided enough's enough. I'll move back home. But I wouldn't have done it if I didn't meet my current partner. So I met her in Grimsby, and then me and her went back to Gloucester. We got a shop. It was on the corner of like the high street, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
And we went there for a bit, and then I was like, I need help. So I decided to get, obviously, some apprentices. Got 2 guys working for me. And then from there on out, one of those apprentices is a multi-award winning artist now. And then Rob McCoy, sorry for the shout out there, his actual name on Instagram is Panther Sausage, as you know it.
I fucking love I love his work, but I love his memes more.
Yeah, it's like everyone knows him in the industry as Panther
We said
Sausage.
About having him over here at some point as well.
Like,
so
he is the nicest guy ever. Like, every day was it was great being with him.
Yeah.
He's now got his own shop in Glossop down the road, but very private, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he came along, and obviously we met in the middle. We both got the same amount of experience and stuff. He knew about his line work, and he even pushed me a bit, like to get better at lining and stuff, and his colour work. And obviously, it's a good thing working in other studios because you suck in like a sponge all that information.
Yeah.
And they make you a better artist. And I hope I've made him a better artist as well.
Yeah, you learn off each other, don't you, really?
Yeah. But every day was like waking up, coming to the shop, and he'd have Bill Burr, comedian, playing all like, dead funny music.
I love Bill Burr
stuff
as well.
Yeah, so obviously that's how it's been. But now I'm in a shop. I've had so many different people come and go. Apprentices come, they can't make it, and
it doesn't, not the right fit.
Yeah, it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
But I've got a good solid team. I've got a junior artist called Simon. He's still in his baby stages, but he's doing really well on his own. I've let him like go off now and just do what he needs to do.
Yeah. Find his own kind of.
I've got my pacer, like I said.
Yeah.
My partner now does all the admin work, so you'll speak to her.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've mentioned that it's a good little system, that, isn't it? Like having like one person do all the admin and bookings.
I'd say 99% of everything. Obviously, sometimes like how much for this, but like I do a system in my shop, and I know a lot of tattooists charge differently. I charge X for half day, X for full day,
and that's it.
Yeah. If it's smaller, it's a negotiation. I go, I'm this an hour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll work to that price. But I just like, even if it goes over slightly in my lunch, I'll still charge half.
Yeah.
If it goes over in the day a little bit, I'll still charge full day.
Yeah.
And I changed my rates recently for weekends. So I've stopped working weekends.
But if it's like a special...
But if it's like someone that's a good regular or a good friend, I will work that Saturday. But the ultimatum is you pay me more.
You're working on a weekend that you don't claim to do, so...
Yeah, so it's been pretty good so
I
far.
think it's a fair system in place, really. Yeah, I mean, having someone kind of run the kind of paperwork side of the shop, if you want to call it that, that's a good thing to do. Keeps it kind of nice and focused for you and the artwork.
Yeah, I think I need to give my number to someone else, though. Like, give it to my partner's number or the...
Oh, rather than that happening all the time.
Yeah, it's just like they can... I did have a shop phone, but no one likes those BT landline ringtones.
Oh, Christ, no. How many people would like... I mean, there's still one in my parents' house, and I'm saying, why the hell have you still got that?
Yeah, have you seen those kind of films where they get the phone and they put it in the aquarium? That's how I feel. Like I get the customer, I'm going to get the pacer for you, and I'll just walk around in a circle for 5 years, and then it's like, are you still there? Right, okay. Her number is this.
God,
it's just like
it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite stressful sometimes, but everyone needs adhering to, and I think with the industry now, it's like it's quite easy to become a pacer, but it's like tattooing. It's quite a niche now. When it comes to like the population, like Glossop, for example, my style doesn't adhere to most people in Glossop. Most people in Glossop are like city fans. Do you know, they're old school, granddads, the farmers, the local people. So they'll get like a family tattoo.
Not many of them will come in and a local chap will be going, tell you what, I'd love a Crash Bandicoot Pikachu combo. You can get that done for me.
Yeah, I'd love that. Just for like some guy that's like 90 coming in, back in my day when Crash Bandicoot came out, I want that.
Yeah. Oh, I could do with that. Coco as well, get them all on there.
Yeah, it's bad when we realise like how old we are based on childhood cartoons.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? You can tell how old someone is. You just say one word, Transformers. Right, you were born in the 80s.
Yeah. Instantly you start.
If you say Pokemon, you're like 90s kid.
90s, yeah.
It's crazy, but.
See, that Transformers one hit you hard then, didn't it, Kyle?
Did they have black and white then?
Oh, we don't even know they had televisions back then, did they?
No, she's on a stone wall, mate.
Oh, okay then.
The hat's a trademark, I think. Okay. The hat is definitely my trademark.
Yeah, because when I was looking through your profile every now and again, like, speaking about this interview, I thought I always like to look at their artwork and just kind of absorb what your portfolio is again. I saw a picture of you without your hat on. And I was I've never seen your hair.
One? Yeah. The awkward pose.
I've never seen Lyndon's hair before.
Yeah, well, it's all there, but it's started going grey.
Oh, okay.
So then. I literally asked
Is that a sign of stress, is it?
I don't know. My granddad had a bald head. Well, started balding at like 22. My uncle, though, he's got long ginger hair.
Oh, wow.
Like, really long ginger hair.
Or has he just got a massive party in the back now, has he?
No, he's still got... He's just still... He looks like Mick Hucknall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Looks like a pirate, I guess.
I'm definitely going to get... I reckon I'll be at the same as you, I reckon.
Do you know what it is? I don't think your hair is... I don't think your hair's receding. I think your skull's just getting bigger.
Fuck. Never thought about it that way.
Explains a lot.
You've got a massive brain.
You've got a fat head.
Yeah, you've got too much thought process going on in there. Your hair's like, I can't do it, I'm going.
Just migrating downstairs, that's all it is.
Yeah. Okay, rather than body hair, let's talk about more tattoos. So, 2014, all this is going on, you're starting up and everything like that. You're in your studio, you've got all these different people in place. How are you finding tattoo life as of now?
As of now,
yeah,
I am different from most people in the industry who can actually keep doing the same thing they love. Do you know, in terms of the style?
Okay. So you mean you're happy to be consistent with this? You don't?
Yeah. So I do. I do every style of tattooing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, someone came in the other day, asked for a city badge. You know, the treble win. Obviously.
I bet you got loads of those requests, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, money's money at the end of the day. I've got to do what I've got to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But obviously, some great pieces. Crash Bandicoot from a 90-year-old.
That's probably my favourite. The Crash Bandicoot one that's pinned in your profile is my favourite one you've ever done.
So, like, I've got a lot of interest now from all over the UK thanks to these awards. So that's, like, kind of helped massively. Like, Instagram has always been, like, a shadowy realm for me. I've been
shadowy realm?
Yeah, the shadow realm. I've been set at, like, around 3,000 to 4,000 followers in 7 years. It's not gone up or down. And, obviously, I try and do everything now. Have you seen what I do in my videos? The random Lyndon Minor spinning round. And, like, the
little animation of that logo.
I've had people comment saying, like, I just want to see tattoos. And then I've seen memes recently of like, I don't want to see, forgot to put the stencil peel up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I get what they're saying now. Tattoos are becoming, we have to dance like clowns.
To get attention.
Exactly. So I tried the TikTok thing, but I went a different approach. I said, what not to talk to a tattooist or what not to say to a tattooist.
Yeah, so a bit more contextual. That's a bit more funny to watch.
I'd do it in a way that, like, I don't care if I offend anyone because it's funny. Do you know what I mean? Because there's different avenues. There's good exposure, bad exposure, but I won't go to the extreme of doing something negative. But But I'll definitely say something I don't like it. Like tribal tattoos. You know, no one likes them.
Yeah. I started a Threads page for Star the other day, and I'll put the comment on there, tribal tattoos are still cool, and Rob was the only one that commented. Does he have any tribal, do you know?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. No, I don't think he does, actually.
Okay.
He's got a giant whale here.
Yeah,
He's got a giant whale on his head. Yeah. He's got I'm trying to think. He's got, obviously, I've done one on his cheek. He's got like his own stem rose flower, like on his cheek, yeah. And then his arms like covered in like colourful, like stormy sea kind of stuff going on. It's quite mental.
Yeah, he's got to be honest with you, I do like his artwork a lot because he's kind of got like a good colour variety. I know that obviously a lot of artists will say that, but at the same time, like, he's got that kind of nice neo-traditional.
Yeah,
and
what I said to him once, I said, like, I'll go through like this as well. It's hard to categorize something at a convention as a judge, because I've been a judge before.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to judge something now because neo-traditional to me, there's like is it Megan Ray tattoos? She does the best representation of what neo-trad should look like. You know, like crispiness, the muted tones, stuff like that. Whereas, like, you've seen my stuff. My stuff's like, I call it neo-school because it's like
new school and neo-trad together.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
So it's like crazy hand-drawn stuff, cartoons, bright colours. But I feel like everyone's trying to find a niche now.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I see it from like my colleagues in the industry who are multi-award winning artists, but still have that stress on their head that they want to be
stand out.
Yeah, they want to stand out. And I'm like, I looked up to you, and you're looking for.
That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah, it's mad.
To be fair though, at conventions, we work the shows. We don't judge or anything like that.
Yeah.
I got asked to do a judging for one thing, and I actually said no because I thought, I don't know. I kind of feel like you kind of need to understand doing it as a practice to kind of understand the quality of a tattoo. But I like what you say in regards to you struggle to categorize because every single time we're at a show and I'll talk to people and say, oh, you're going to put in for competition or anything? Yeah, probably. Oh, what are you going to put it in for? And they go, It's like they don't know, but it's like a black and grey piece, but it's also black work and it's realism and it's
it's got a
portrait.
mandala there.
Yeah, and it's like they don't.
like-
A lot of people struggle to kind of fit it in anywhere, and it's like I hate the fact that categories will single out a tattoo as this
Well, this is
particular
it
thing
now.
because it's got such a blend of everything. It's hard to say, yep, that's just black and grey or that's just realism.
Well, look what's coming out now. Colour realism. It's
Yeah,
phenomenal
yeah.
how good people have gotten at that
Yeah.
colour realism. It's like, I've tried, I've dabbled, but it's like, there was a meme years ago of an Iron Man's hand. It said like 20 hours into a tattoo and it was only like the middle finger done. And it's like, it makes sense because it is a time consuming process.
Yeah, yeah.
And you couldn't really do that at conventions, but I have seen it firsthand. Brilliant pieces done. But when that goes up against, for example, my work, like I did that neo-trad split skull I did at Great British Tattoo Show.
Yeah.
If you put that next to a coloristic face, it's really hard to choose.
Yeah, because they're both good in their own right, aren't
Yeah,
they?
because the Holy Grail Pro team had a bunch of artists doing colour realism and they went in for the category as well. So I'm sat there looking at their work and I'm like, wow, that work is amazing. And I'm looking at mine, it's clean. It's got bright colours. I'm like, I'm impressed with this. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
And I sit there, like, I have this sinking feeling. I try and act like it's not going to bother me. But going into a convention and entering a competition, when you've won before and you're in the big leagues, you're in Great British Tattoo Show, you know, you're doing it for Skin Deep and whatever.
Yeah.
And you sat there and you're like, and then all day, because I finish early sometimes. I don't use the entire day unless I need to. And I'm sat there for like 2 hours before judging and I'm like, oh, this is awful. Stomach ache, whatever. And then I end up like going up on the seating area and then obviously they say your customer's name first.
Oh, yeah, so sometimes you
Which
don't kind of clock
throws
it
me off
straight away,
sometimes
do you?
because it's
Yeah.
kind of like there's a part of your brain for a millisecond that says, oh, you've not won.
Yeah,
and then like obviously...
Oh, that's my guy.
yeah, it's like Dan Campbell by Lyndon Minor. And you're like... And then everyone's like looking at you going, oh, well done. And then I've got to now prepare myself to go to stage. So I jogged to the stage last time. And it's
Yeah.
not good for me to jog. Everything moves. Do you know what I mean? So I'm on stage and this is when I didn't have my hat on. So I was out of context. I was not comfortable in a hoodie. I wore my new
Yeah,
t-shirt.
you weren't in your own...
My hair spiked up, glasses on. And I'm on stage like that, shaking hands, like absolutely terrified. Even though I knew the judges as well. Like,
Yeah.
and you kind of stood there trying to awkwardly smile. You're like, and you don't know if it goes up or down.
Yeah, because you kind of have that bit of a...
Yeah.
Like you don't know whether it's like a smile
someone
or a
says,
frown or...
say cheese. I get why now because it awkwardly gets rid of that treble
Cheese.
in your lips.
So that was last year at Great British, wasn't it?
No, this year.
Oh, this year, sorry, in May. So that was the best of... Was it Colour Day and the weekend,
Colour
right?
Day weekend.
Yeah. Is that the first kind of like treble you've ever hit for shows and stuff?
I got a treble at a small convention called Buckley, but I didn't get best of show, which was kind of a bit daft because they gave best of show to someone that didn't win another award.
Okay, that doesn't make sense for it. I mean, it's a hard one.
I get.
There's always a conversation.
Yeah, there's
about
always
how
a
awards are done
conversation.
and
Well, I wasn't
everything, but
salty about it. I just went, oh, whatever.
generally, you'd expect like the best of Saturday or Sunday to
I
be
set a-
one that won one of the previous awards, really, and then naturally, best of show is probably going to be
Well,
best of
I
Saturday
won.
or Sunday.
I won best small colour, best large colour, and best of Saturday.
Hey, what? What for the one tattoo?
Yeah. So
For small and large? How does that
so
work?
I did a geisha at the top with a kitsune.
Yeah.
I did a chrysanthemum in bright green with a fox coming out. So obviously I did this pit on the first day, on the Saturday, won best of Saturday and best small colour. And then the next day, because I did the top, it was more neo-traditional. But the irony is, do you want to know something funny?
Go on then.
The judges weren't tattooists.
The judges weren't, and this is at the what? This is at the Buckley show, was
Buckley show.
Well,
But they're
so
great
who-
people. But one was she knows a bit about tattoos, but she was like a snake dancer. She does like dances with snakes. You know,
Okay.
it's quite interesting. One was a photographer. I guess that helps.
it? I guess
Do you
so.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, thing is with tattoo conventions, like the traditional ones, talking about Skin Deep, talking about Blackpool, you know, all these,
yeah.
they pick obviously artists that they think should be doing it. And I felt like for the first time when I was doing it, I was the right person to go on that stage because I'm going to pick it apart. I'm not going to be like, oh, his work, I look up to him. Or
So
he's
just to
my best
clarify
mate.
for everyone, then. So when was you? What show was you judging for then?
So I judged Tattoo Tea Party, just gone,
Yep.
and I judged Skin Deep,
And Freeze in February.
Freeze in February.
Yeah. So In regards to you being asked, first of all, to be a judge, first of all, what's your natural reaction to that? Is it like a nice complimentary, like, oh, thank you for asking me? Or is it like a, sure?
I was, at first, I was like, do you know, like, am I good enough? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay, questioning yourself.
Question myself. But then I was like, I'd like to do it. And because one of my friends beforehand said that they judged, I thought I'd ask. So I asked for the Tattoo Freeze one and the Tattoo Tea Party one they asked me.
Yeah.
So obviously I had the experience from Freeze to go over to Tattoo Tea Party. The difference with Freeze was Richie Price.
Yeah.
He was next to me, and then I forgot the other lad's name. Sorry, but he's a really nice
Ross?
guy. Ross Tattoo. Yeah.
Ross Cottle. I think he was on a Sunday.
Just black and grey. Really mint
that's
black and grey.
Yeah.
And it's really good because each and every single one of us,
You've got different areas.
we've got different areas, but the way we approach things. So obviously, my first time, I didn't know what to do. Richie got up, took leadership, and said this, that, and the other about each tattoo, and then we looked at it, and then Ross looked at it, and some things that I liked and Richie liked, Ross didn't, and backwards, you know, it worked out really well because we were looking at things, picking it apart. But Tattoo Tea Party was difficult. You had great tattooists there. Not saying the ones at Freeze weren't great, but the ones at Tattoo Tea Party were great.
Yeah.
You had Anthony Lennox, Jamie Lee Knott. You had a few people from the Holy Grail Pro team.
Yeah.
I can't remember all of them, but the tattoos on stage were just ridiculously good.
Yeah. We was watching from the stand because we actually had a good view for Tea Party, didn't we? We could actually see
that one.
them all.
I had two girls who knew each other, and I didn't know them, and they barely really spoke to me. But obviously, when I was looking at stuff, it was a token system. Now the token system's great.
Oh yeah.
So, one sec.
We need like a cough button or something, don't we?
Yeah, so basically, the token system, I think, works really well.
So that's
because
that's my shortlisting people, isn't it? Or...
Yeah, that's my independent judging.
Yeah.
Not a collective, not numbers, because Tattoo Freeze and other conventions, they write numbers down out of 10. And I think sometimes I feel bad in a way because I am dissing other tattoos. I guess what I'm doing is I'm putting the best one first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you've got a few, when you have a token system, like before I gave someone a 9 and this person a 10, I can't really go back and scribble that out because that's not a fair judgment. So I feel as though the token system works because you go up with 3 or 2 tokens, it just depends. And then you go up and pick 3 by first definition of what you think looks good. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't sit down and identify
so that
each
tea
one.
party, sorry, how many judges were there?
3.
There was 3 including yourself?
Yeah.
And you get
No. Yeah, 3 including myself, yeah.
And you had 3 tokens each?
Yes.
So that's 9 tokens in total, and basically, say how many people
so
roughly per category?
I think there was 2 tokens each actually. Yeah,
okay.
2.
Yeah.
2
so
tokens.
how many? Say like for black and grey, there's a lot of fucking people going.
Yeah,
for black
so
and grey,
they had to get 25 people on stage and did it 6 times.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So the hardest part is it's like best out of 25, I guess, and then you go off. But sometimes you could give a token to each person.
Yeah.
So say for example, there could have been 6 people on stage for the first 25. And then they give you tokens back, they stay on stage, and then the next 25 and so on.
Okay.
And you have to break it down. But what is quite difficult is when you've got really good tattooists, and I mean really good, and you've got to pick apart their work.
Oh.
It's horrifying.
Because you think, I'm such a dickhead. I can't believe I'm doing this.
You've got a beautiful tattoo everywhere.
And everyone's like, oh.
So I go like this. So I go like this first. Is it an original idea?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, good question this is. How do you pick apart your tattoo then?
So I go, is it an original idea? Right? So this is the difficult one because black and grey artists obviously just copy images. Some, like Dan Hancock, actually draw theirs. You know what I mean? And there's a difference in style there. So you've got to definitely... sorry, what was the question again?
How you picking apart the tattoo and judging it?
How picking apart the tattoo. Yeah, so basically you've got to definitely identify each area, starting with, is it a good design?
Okay.
Does it fit the body?
Oh, okay, so where it is on like...
The body part,
Okay.
90% of people at conventions do legs and arms. You know why?
thicker areas to work on.
Thicker areas and shorter. It's a shorter area to work with, so you could do something a lot bigger in a smaller area, and it fill a space, and it look more interesting than putting it on someone's shoulder, and it will just fade away into the back because the whole back's there with no tattoos.
Okay.
But like,
so if someone's saying I want to get tattooed by you at a convention, and they're like, I've got a full blank leg, you're like, yes,
100%.
it's going to stand out.
Yes.
But then if they turn up and they're full bodied, tattooed everywhere, but they've got a little gap somewhere, you're like,
Yeah, just wear black or white and hide everything else.
Yeah, just wrap everything up in white tissue or something.
We'll go back to the questions, but I once tattooed a girl, the SpongeBob, right?
Yeah.
And I tattooed her the week before here.
Yeah.
It was a neo-traditional rose dagger. It was clean, really nice. But the SpongeBob tattoo, I wanted to win. I wanted to win small colour because I actually judged and competed at Tattoo Tea Party. So on the Saturday, I judged, and on the Sunday, I didn't judge, and I entered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. So they said I couldn't win best of convention, obviously.
That's understandable.
That's fair. So I entered for small colour. Everyone, I'm not even joking you, SpongeBob tattoo on the screen. Everyone was like, whoa. Like the colours were mint.
Yeah.
And the judges kept looking at the dagger rose and said afterwards,
they were saying, that's the one.
You would have won if that was the tattoo. And I was like, it's fucking fresh. Can you not see the scabs?
Yeah. God.
You know, it's mad. But yeah, going back to the question. So I think that it should be design, the placement, the flow, and then I get down on my knees. Literally, you've probably seen me with a token in my hand, staring at that piece of skin. And if they've rushed it, I will put it away because I want to see it.
How would you know someone's rushed a tattoo then?
Because the white is screaming at me.
Oh, okay.
The white is literally like bleeding. Like, you should give yourself enough time to finish a tattoo
and let it rest.
And let it rest. That doesn't weep. Like that Biotat stuff you give me works a treat, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Actually stops that.
Nice little plug for Biotat there.
Actually stops it from.
Specifically, Glide or Butter.
Right. Okay.
Do you remember which one you used?
I actually used the black with the green, and it was a bit thick at first.
Okay.
It was hard.
What, the little sachet thing? The sample thing? Or the actual tub? The actual tub, yeah.
Yeah, you give me a tub, didn't you?
Okay.
And that works a treat. So I think, was that the whip or was it the butter? I can't remember which one it was.
I'm struggling to remember now.
Well, normally I use Inkies.
Yeah.
So I use Inkies. I feel like it's so much better than all the other products like that aren't an aftercare, for example.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's really good for just normal tattooing. But that Biotat stuff is really good just to give that customer a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, it helps the inflation and that.
Helps the inflammation and it gets rid of the redness.
Well, so you used that at the Tea Party show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did the star spin and didn't win anything. And this lovely gentleman here gave me an energy drink, which I probably still left in a cupboard somewhere. Yeah. Give it to a customer who's flaking.
Oh, okay.
And then I did another spin and got the Biotat stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still want that tattoo machine though. I swear I've spent about £1,000 on that spinny wheel.
Oh, can't look back on any of that now. It's all gone in history. That we didn't have any receipts or anything, so God knows.
At the back, there's a button to press it to slow down at the right point.
It's going to land you on the number one. Quick spin it. Oh, it's so close. No. Just for clarification, it's not a rigged thing.
No, definitely not. It looks like you made it out of paper anyway. So
believe it or not, we bought that spinner from
Amazon,
IKEA. Yeah.
So it doesn't look like anything you can mess with.
No, I mean, we vinyled over the top of it because we didn't want the typical...
I thought it was a great idea, to be honest.
See what we've got for
Well, it's not
London.
only that, like, customers.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be a tattooist. Do you know what I mean? It could be someone that just wants aftercare.
Generally, what we do is say, it's kind of tattoo supplies, though, and a customer, like, who's not a tattooer, they'll go, oh, I'll have a go anyway. It's like, yeah, but... Oh, okay.
I mean, the T-shirt.
That is true.
Yeah, T-shirts.
Yeah, because they land on something and it's like hex cartridges. It's like £25, £30 retail, and they'll go, "Oh, gotta get a shirt instead." It's like,
no,
I mean, yeah, you can, but like that's more.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Do you know a tattooist? You must do if you're here at a convention. Give it to them. No, I'll have the T-shirt. Oh, fucking hell! All right, fine.
So going back to the
yes, going back to the judging and stuff. Yeah.
So I've gone through all those different aspects.
Yeah.
Now is the hard part. I'm down. I'm looking at line work. The first thing, the first fundamental important thing of a tattoo that frames it, keeps it sharp, the line work. Now, everyone can make a mistake. I get that. No tattoo is 100% perfect.
Yeah.
You could do a circle, and we all know that's impossible, unless you're a wizard. But like, I will look for it and I'll note them in my head, like, oh, there's one. But I don't want to absolutely shit on the tattoo.
You mean like that's a minor? That's
Yeah. Ironically enough, that's my surname.
That wasn't intended. For a point,
it wasn't intended. And
that's a minor. That's
and then obviously
minor.
depending on what category it is. So if it's black and grey, the first thing I've got to do is so I'm going to say realism, not black and grey. Does it look real?
That's a good point.
That is
make,
literally
it, really?
it. Like, does it look real? Because black and grey in my eyes is, I do black and grey. I don't do realism. I'm not that good at black and grey, but I do. I'm not that good at realism, should I say? I can do it to a point where they look real, but I know for a fact that I haven't done it as well as, like, say, David Vega and people like that who smooth. That is realism to me.
That's top
but
tier.
If I see a line in a black and grey piece, in a realism piece, that's black and grey. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting. Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
so black
yeah.
and grey, you could literally do anything with like shading in the background, and it's black and grey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is going back to the categories. So if I did colour, now this is where it gets harder. There's so many different ways of colouring. I used to do watercolour when I first started, and now I do solid colour. Like so saturated. So when people are entering colour, you've got people that do a painted style. You've got people that do watercolour. You've got people that do full saturation. You got people that just drop it in a little bit, like on an abstract piece or something. And then you've got to go, how well is it going to heal? You've got to guess almost.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to look at it. And obviously,
mean,
I do a lot of yellows, and I give it 10 minutes with Biotat to chill, so that when I come back to it, wipe it, and I look for gaps, and then I'll re-tattoo it. I know some people don't like keep working over the skin because it's stressed. But I will go in and make sure those areas are done because once it heals, black is always going to be stronger than the colour.
Yeah.
So it's right next to a colour that's quite faded. You're going to see the skin showing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you're thinking the long-term process, the result of it going to be, after it's healed, you're going to see those
we've all got. There's so many people in this industry that rush, like, oh, I've done a tattoo in 5 hours, full back piece. We don't care. Like, that customer's gone through trauma to the skin. It's going to heal bad. And it's not wise at all. Like, you could spend less time, do a nice piece, use like every ounce of your love and passion for the tattoo, and just do a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do a good job in a fast amount of time and do a big tattoo, but it's what you're doing for a convention or a competition. Judges don't want to see an absolute hacked up mess. I've seen cuts on that stage.
Cuts. I mean, that doesn't sound good for a tattoo.
It does not.
It's to cut your...
Exactly. I've seen cuts. I almost disqualified. I really wanted to get on stage, off stage, and just tell the organizer, like, someone has... There was a guy, I'm not even joking, it was a 2-day here.
Yeah.
In a bit of the armpit. And obviously this is not a good area to tattoo at all. It's quite stressed. And if you're a bigger guy, you're going to have stretch marks no matter what. Yeah. That's where the cut was. Obviously, they've hacked
in a bicep?
In a bicep there, like tricep.
God, that's a nasty place for it to heal as well.
And it was, you can see it like trying to drip like a bogey. It was not nice at all. Obviously, like, there's things that people need to stop doing. Like, where I stand now as someone that's got awards, like, when I go to another convention, like, I'm competitive. I want to win an award, but I don't want to change who I am as a person or try and race against the clock for the sake of a statue or a piece of paper or whatever. Because that tattoo and that customer could go septic. It could go wrong. It could have so many issues with it later on, and then you're still paying more money to fix it. So I feel like in the industry, if anyone's listening, don't rush the tattoo. Just do a good job. And if you don't win, there's next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because you are at a tattoo convention. I know a lot of people say, like, I don't care about awards and that, but at the end of the day, if you're going to tattoo at the show and you're going to put in for an award, you may as well try and make it look the shit. But at the same time, if someone's paying you 300, 400, 500, 600 for the session or whatever, and they've travelled and blah, 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 it's them as well as you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people... Do you reckon there's a lot of people that actually, like, forget that aspect of it?
Yeah, like, even the best artists forget, like, the process of tattooing. You know, like, their customer. Obviously, they whack loads of numbing cream on and just crack on, but you could overwork the stuff.
The numbing... Where do you stand on the... Like,
right, so, honestly...
You've got something loaded for this, haven't you?
I've definitely got something loaded for this. I'm not going to plug any tattoo aftercare... tattoo numbing cream company at all, but... I will say this, you can use it, and it definitely does affect the pores because it takes ages to get out the skin, just like oil does. Oil takes ages to get out of the skin. So yes, it does work, but if you keep wiping that area, it's going to come out. Now, I've read on leaflets saying like you can reapply.
Yeah.
Don't. First-hand experience, I've seen someone's leg go manky from reapplying the numbing cream during a tattoo. Same with aftercare products that have benzocaine in. I'd probably say I'm probably going to come off that wagon and go for just clove stuff. Yeah. It's more natural.
Numbing.
Obviously, it's not going to numb it. You get a tattoo, it's a reward. That pain you go through, you're ending up with a reward.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's tribal warriors out there that have like speared a tiger and then probably got bit a few times and then they've like got a cool tiger tattoo. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting there for 7 hours, 5 hours,
you're
3
watching
hours.
Netflix, you've got a nice
exactly.
drink.
You're actually well comfortable. And I think
it.
your mind is a strong thing. I had a customer the other day. It's his first tattoo, right? And we have
these are always interesting people, you know, when it's their first tattoo.
We've got a system in place in our shop, right? So we tell everyone that they need to eat and drink before they come to their appointment. Bring some snacks.
Yeah.
We have something called the emergency banana. I don't know why.
The emergency banana.
An emergency banana.
It's not just sat there for like weeks.
No,
just like brown.
In case of emergency, break glass.
Get the banana quick.
It's all mouldy.
Get this man some potassium quick.
So basically, we go across the road to Esso, and then we grab a banana. We rush straight in because obviously eating something stimulates something in the brain. Because I don't know if you've ever seen anyone pass out from a tattoo.
I've never seen anyone pass out. I've heard about it a lot, but
conspiracy.
Oh,
after COVID, I'm not saying it's COVID or the vaccine, but ever since then, I've had more people go in a flaky state. I've had someone crash on the floor, like fall off the chair, crash, and I'm like, what's going on? And they've actually gone into a fit and stuff like that. And I've tattooed their whole body before, and they've just had a small tattoo here. And like they've sat like hours and hours of tattooing before, and then that's happened. And they wake up and like, what happened?
Well, so you think the vaccines have like kind of like
I'm not
messed with
saying
body
that,
chemistry?
I definitely think that either people's health has deteriorated in some form of way to make them sort of weaker or anything, because it doesn't have to be your first tattoo. It could be, I don't know, like your 100th, and you go into a flake state. But it depends on what you did the night before, what you did in the morning, what you eat. But that banana has superpowers, so I give it to him. And because you're eating, it makes you feel better, fills your stomach a little bit. Don't eat it too fast, obviously, you'll throw up. Yeah. But like the potassium, like you just said, it actually works.
The natural sugar in there as well.
But what I don't like is when customers bring energy drinks. I'm like, don't bring energy drinks, because
I am one of those people, unfortunately.
You know, at 2 o'clock, you started at 10, 2 o'clock, you're crashing.
What I'll say is, though, if I have like a can of Monster, it will like space out over the 4 or 5. It won't be like neck the fuck.
Does it go flat? Does Monster Energy?
Sometimes, but at the same time, I'll give myself that little bit of an edge.
I actually think,
it's the caffeine, it's the sugar free. It's the Monster Ultras, not the sugared ones. I'll just have the.
I get people to have. I buy loads of stuff from Costco, and I always get Lucozade Sports, and I get Lucozade.
He fucking loves Lucozade.
I do get the fizzy Lucozade as well, and I feel like that glucose kind of helps. But now we've got like lollipops in the shop. We've got everything, so it's like I get to a point now. Going back to that customer, I said it was his first tattoo, and he went greeny grey. You know when you can tell someone's
greeny grey.
Yeah, like that. It's like an off yellow.
Right. Okay.
Like an off yellow, like a moonstone.
Was this
from
like
World
in
Famous.
the middle of the tattoo or something?
And a little bit of sweat on the forehead. It's the first thing you see. It's like they keep looking at the tattoo. Right, that's when I notice something, and then I look up. They don't see me.
What was you doing? His arm or something?
So I was doing. What was I doing? No, I was doing his upper arm. I've just posted it. I did it's a Leviathan creature from Monster Hunter, and I was halfway up on the foot, and I saw him go straight away.
Really?
Look at them trying to find the video of it now.
Well, this one you're in?
Yeah.
That's a nice piece.
Look at this. That's his first tattoo.
God, that's for a first tattoo, that is massive, actually.
So obviously he sat through the whole session, but he stayed that colour for 90% of it. But I did say, "Have you got anything to eat?" The guy went through a full bag of eclairs, a full bag of twirls. I'm like, do you want food?
Do you want some carbohydrates and fruits?
I felt like a mum. I was like, do you want anything? No, he survived. But I do recommend people eating actual food. like carbs. Carbs are so good. Like for people in the tattoo industry, like most of us are well unfit unless you go to the gym. And your day starts off, if you eat food in the morning, it's always food, coffee, fag, or whatever.
Yeah,
you get in, you start tattooing at 11 or 10 or whatever. And then there's always like attraction between 1 and 2. You just as a tattoo artist, I'm like, I'm not fed up with the tattoo. I'm just like, I've got no motivation, no energy now. So I need to keep going. So then I always go 1:30, we'll go for some food. Oh, food makes it worse, doesn't it? It makes you tired. So
you come back in a bit of a mini food coma.
I feel like we should have hammocks in tattoo studios so we can all just nap. Even the customers.
Mate, you're a tattoo studio owner. Start the trend off.
Yeah, just
start the trend.
Tattoo
Start supplying them.
Start hammocks. Yeah, but
comes
obviously
with a free banana.
Oh dear, don't put my name on it.
As endorsed by.
What is it, like a rubber one, just in case of emergency?
In case of emergency, it's a stress banana.
Well, we've got I don't know if you've seen Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Right.
But I don't know about you.
So we actually have a stress toy at the shop. It's Pickle Rick.
Oh, fantastic.
And his face is like, with his tongue out and everything.
Brilliant.
And I swear, he used to be about this fat. He's like thin now because everyone's just crushing.
It's a stressed up studio then, isn't it? Well, actually, no, it's not a stressed up studio because they're using him so much.
Yeah. So, but yeah, going back to that, I do think there's general health concerns that people need to be aware of in tattooing because it's so easy to, like, well, aftercare is one thing. You've got to let that customer look after their tattoo.
Yeah.
And I think Second Skin, Tattoo Armour, and all these new things are perfect. This is what we need, so they don't have to touch that tattoo.
Yeah, because that first 48 hours, 24, 48 is
I think it's like everyone's got a different aftercare, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like you could say, well, my system might be wrong, but I always say that depending on their job. So I feel like we need a form.
That's a good aspect.
We
don't hear that very often.
We need
That's
a form. On the form, it needs to say, or when they're booking in, it needs to say, what's your job? Because if I'm about to tattoo some mechanic who's definitely got oil-infested skin, and I go in and I'm wiping and it's like not going in, or it's like butchering or splitting just like the dead follicles of skin, like, or they've just been on holiday. We need to know these things because I've turned away customers for flaky skin. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And they're like, oh, what does that mean? You lose your deposit? Like, I don't want to be horrible, but like, your skin needs to be perfect.
Yeah, of course it is.
So I've been following a lot of people that have been doing aftercare little packs, and I've made my own now. But moisturising before your appointment, 100% I agree with that.
Okay.
Like a week before. Like, don't...
Well, like daily moisturising or...
Yeah, obviously you've probably seen the memes like, do you like shaving? You know, in tattoo, like shaving. Like, obviously everyone likes something like that. It's like ASMR. It's weird, isn't it? It's like just like shaving someone's arm is really therapeutic.
We'll come back, but like that kind of reminds me of that barber who's suddenly got really Insta famous and gone viral because he does all this ASMR. Like, it's like a proper old school barber
I think
shop.
I've heard this.
Yeah,
he has it on these clients' little peg there.
Yeah, he's in like the suit and everything.
Yeah,
and you know, when he's propping up the chair with his foot, it's like, and then he starts going.
Yeah, imagine when the blowtorch comes out.
God, it makes me want to suddenly go.
Is he like a Turkish barber kind of thing?
I can't remember, but I know he's got like an incredible like moustache and like the proper, you know.
I've got a Turkish barber, and they get like a blowtorch out. Have you seen that when they get near your ears with the paraffin?
Dan had that, didn't he? There was like a hot thing or whatever, isn't it?
There's two smells I don't like: burning hair and tattoo stencil remover. Like that offends my nose. Like,
well, the problem is one of them you have to be in contact with all the time, though, don't you?
What do you mean?
The
stencil remover, yeah. Like, it smells like glass cleaner. It looks like glass cleaner. It might be. It's just like, let's take one label off, put another one on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need alternatives to removal of stencils because it's like either rubbing it down with alcohol, loads of soap, or that spray.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We'll do some research.
Yeah, we need to get rid of
all feedback is always welcome at a supply company, definitely. As anyone should know, because at the end of the day, we can't suddenly go, oh, let's go, ping, we'll do this now. Like, we need to hear it from everyone, don't we?
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason why, like, the range of, like, aftercares and inks is kind of like, oh, it's a new brand and blah, 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 blah. But, like, aftercares and, you know, things that are used in the process for a better reason or an advantage, like, a lot of the time we can only hear about this once someone tells us there's a problem with this.
I suppose you need like
an
artist in the industry that's like, could be a creative producer as well, like someone that comes up with like...
someone that's kind of like a bit of a liaison between the actual practice of tattooing and the supply.
Yeah,
they
'cause
need to sit in the middle.
Obviously,
somewhere.
it depends, because obviously one person's review doesn't make it up for a 500.
God, yeah. I mean, this kind of stems to the conversation we've just left about the aftercare thing, but like everyone's got their own opinion, and the thing is, it doesn't end. Like it's constant. Like one week someone will say this is the best thing they've ever used, and then the week after they'll say, oh, this thing doesn't work properly, I want a refund for it.
I think a lot of people are sheep though. Like they do follow, like say X
the
artist,
influencer,
the influencer, and they're like, oh, I'm going to get that machine. The only time it's ever changed for me is when I got that Bishop wand.
Right, okay.
Like I used to build coils, you know what I mean? Like going back, how many years now? 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, I used to put coils together, and then obviously I paid someone to start doing that as well. And it's mad because I used to go, I'm not using a pen. I'm not using a pen. Like I'm using a time machine. That's what it's about. And now I'm like wrapping it up, battery in.
Yep.
Done.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. But I will agree, it's much safer now, because I used to think of ideas like having a bungee cord thing for my clip cord, so that rather than it be on the floor,
Oh yeah, so
it comes
having
off the roof.
So if it's like
almost like a
somewhere.
petrol pump. Do you know what I mean? Like a petrol
Yeah, so
pump.
you've kind of got it on like a rack, and you can just like get it there. Right, all good now.
Yeah. But that stress from that cable, once that went out the window, my whole outlook on tattoo life has changed. I can now stand up and move around my customer rather
You can
than
hold the machine and
Yeah.
stand up on a different angle and look around and stuff.
exactly. What do they say? Crooked spine, crispy lines. Like your back has to be 90 degrees to get that
Crooked
line.
spine equals crispy lines.
Yeah. So your back has to be like that.
Like a shrimp, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I always say. It's like shrimping. If you're shrimping, then you're basically like all, you know.
Well, I witnessed it firsthand. People get someone on like a little table like that and like tattoo in a little area because they're uncomfortably lay. So yeah, we do some daft stuff at conventions though, don't we? To make sure we get the tattoo done. Obviously,
the thing is,
safety
though,
disclaimer though. Don't do that.
Yeah. Like the thing is, when you are tattooing for several hours, like you might be in a fantastic position, but the client is like, this is horrible, I can't do this. But then it could be the other way around as well.
I think legs is the hardest tattoo to set, I would say, because obviously you've got your leg, the top one that you're tattooing, like that, and your arms like that, your legs like that down. So obviously you've got this foot underneath or wherever it's going, and over time, the bottom of your hip, your shoulder, you don't know whether to twist. And none of us I don't know if you've got your legs tattooed, but have you ever got to that chronic groin pull pain?
Yes.
That is the worst pain.
I know exactly what you're on
because
about.
I've had it in my armpit before where I've sweat that much or tensed that much that I've got a golf ball, like my lymph nodes are swollen up.
God.
And I think everyone has to deal with it because like a full day session is quite a lot on someone.
It's a lot. I can't be arsed with them anymore.
Well, I think it's age. Age makes pain worse, I think. But you get more competent.
You hear this? We're talking about going down to Torquay to see
but
Dave.
saying that though, like as you get older, like you're old when you've got a pill box.
A pill box.
That's what I say. The moment you've got pills every day. I mean, me and you were talking outside saying we're already on like omeprazole, like just for stomach acid reflux. But maybe we could change it.
How old are you though?
Me, 32.
And you are 35. 27, right, okay. Yeah. The microphone didn't quite pick that up then, yeah.
How old are you?
No, I'm 28.
28.
Yeah.
God, these young
I still haven't got a
nowadays.
3 I still haven't got a 3 in, the first number of my age yet, so I'm all good.
Yeah, once you hit...
No, actually, no, I don't even want to... I want to discount what I've just said because I'm one of these people that doesn't really... it'll probably be when I'm a few months away from 30, then I'll start sweating a bit. But as of right now, it's like...
It don't make a difference. I just think you become more cynical and like you just hate everyone.
I think in the last few years, I've begun to like less people. So I'm getting there.
I think you tolerate, less nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you've been where they are. So you're just like, nope, it's not going to work.
I've learned now sometimes to not say anything is better than saying anything.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But
in certain situations.
It depends how much of a passionate you are about the subject that you talk about. You could be religious. It could be what you eat. It could be what, your style of tattooing is. And people have their own opinions. And I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? When you've kind of got like a creative industry like this and everyone's got all cool opinions and this and that and this. Sometimes it's really fun and exciting. But then after a while, you're sometimes like, oh, I can't be asked to do this anymore. I can't be asked to hear all these. Like, in the job aspect, obviously it's part of the job, but like just normal day talk, like say even just talking to a non-tattoo artist and they're talking about their tattoo and I think this is going to be amazing and blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, I can't be asked to hear this.
Yeah.
It's just too much. I can't take all this tattoo talk 24/7.
And now he's on a tattoo podcast.
But this part of the job, part of the job. As soon as this is over, like there's no tattoo talk.
Are we doing
until
that Friday
Monday.
night thing that we were talking about earlier?
The Friday night thing?
You remember what we were saying earlier? Like, I only do it on Fridays.
Oh God, yeah. Turn the cameras off quick.
Yeah.
What was we even talking? We've like spiraled into such a random chat now.
Well, that's what a podcast is about, though. It's about
exactly
everything.
Is this your first podcast you've ever done?
No, not tattoo podcast.
You did stuff in lockdown, didn't you?
Yeah, so
streaming and all
I used to be a
sorts. So did you
streamer.
do podcasting then as well?
Yes, I did.
Go on then.
Right, so
Actually, is it still living today, or has you stopped all that?
the hardest thing is, it's like with any platform and social media, I have never been good at getting the numbers. Like, viewers mean a lot. Like, see someone with 1,000, you're going to jump in. You see someone with 2, you're not going to jump in.
Yeah.
Unless I am a certain sex or a certain way I look and certain way I act, or even I'm really good at a game,
Or how good your thumbnails are.
or good your thumbnails are.
Yeah.
That's what makes it. And there's a lot of work involved other than that video. So during lockdown, I played in a lot of Call of Duty tournaments. I've won a couple, even earned some money off it.
Specifically Warzone, I presume. Or,
Yeah, the original Warzone before it turned
the
terrible.
proper one.
The proper
Yeah,
Warzone. Then we played like Phasmophobia, like horror games.
Yeah.
I did a lot of Pokemon booster ripping for people. I like bought loads. I was one of those people that got loads of cards and then ended up like buying them and then reselling them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We all had to make money because the lockdown money that we got was nothing.
Yeah.
It was literally it covered the rent. I still paid my rent with that money, where some people got rent plus. Like the landlords were a bit okay with it, whereas me, I paid my rent. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the streaming side of it is pretty fun. So all the time playing Call of Duty. But nowadays I still play computer games. I just don't stream anymore. But me and my friends, so I've got a bunch of German friends, a bunch of Polish. They're everywhere, my friends online.
Yeah.
But a lot of them do like voices and obviously do different things.
Okay.
And obviously, I play a character called Brimstone. He's like a deep voice character. The same actor that plays the cartoon Wolverine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he does like really deep voices, and I say his lineups or his words, his quips, his quotes in game, and people are like, "Oh my god, we're playing with the real Brimstone." And then my mate, he acts like a female. His voice, he can put on a girl's voice, and everyone believes it.
That's what you
And then we
mentioned
break
earlier.
character afterwards, and we're like, no. Like they ask, "Are you the real voice actor?" And I'm like, "The guy's American for a start."
Yeah.
Like, no,
He doesn't have this accent.
no, unless I was proper firm British.
What other sort of voice impressions do you do then? And yes, I'm going to ask, would you be able to do one?
Oh, it depends. Get me a drink.
We have no alcohol there. This is a sober
No,
company.
an actual drink. Otherwise,
an actual drink.
I might actually ruin it.
What do you want?
Water, anything.
Water. We need water, quick.
There's some mixing solution there.
Get the stencil liquid. That
Get the
removes
purified
stencils.
water.
But yeah,
Did all the impression voice things start in lockdown, or was that something you did previous?
no, all my life, obviously, it might be some form of underlying autism or some fun, interesting thing.
Some form of autism,
I feel
ADHD
like
combo
doing
or...
voices as a kid growing up, watching like any sort of like American Pie film or any sort of like cartoon, you want to create those mannerisms and mimic them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whether it's Kermit the Frog or you know, like whatever, like Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, the way he just changes from different voice to different voice like that is. I've got so much respect for people that can do that.
So Brimstone is like a military officer.
Yeah.
And he has basically a terminal on his hand. So you go around the game. It's not you won't like this game if you like COD, because if you run and shoot, your bullets will miss. You have to stand still to shoot.
Okay.
So you like when you go around the corner, it's like move, stop, shoot. So it's all about skill. So Brim uses smoke. So I'm throwing smoke grenades, and they look like big mashed potato balls. And you have to like run around the map. And he has a grenade launcher on it, and he says the word Molly. So he's like Molly, like, and he says it all the time. And I'm going around with all these people, and I go Molly, and everyone just copies me. And it's like throughout the whole game, everyone's like Molly, Molly.
Just a group of them. Molly,
Yeah,
Molly,
and he has
Molly.
this thing called a stim, and he goes like stim beacon out, and he does all these different sort of voices.
Stim what?
Stim beacon out.
Oh,
Do you know,
okay.
it's like stim beacon out, and he does these voices. There's a really loud one which might spike the microphone, but like he has a nuke and he goes, "Open up the sky," and he just hits the floor and it just blows up anyone in that circle. But yeah, he does all those different ones. But sometimes I try and think I can do other voices, maybe a bit of Optimus Prime, but you have to get in the right mood for that. I don't know.
Let's get in the mood.
Oh,
Let's get in the mood. Let's get in the mood.
If it's shit, you can edit this out.
Well, you can hear it back and go, you know what? No, that does not.
It depends on the microphone, right? Or how good I am.
Yeah.
It's like, I am Optimus Prime.
That was actually,
I try.
That was good. That was, yeah.
It's
Honestly,
like,
that was good.
we are the Autobots. It's the ending bit. You have to. The startup's hard because I'm put on the spot. But like, if you get the back of his mannerism of his voice, you can carry it on and put the depth in.
Are you trying?
Bumblebee, roll out.
Yeah.
So
Are you trying to like mimic the cartoon voice or like it's Liam Neeson that does the?
Oh, I don't know.
Who does the main?
No. The original Transformers and the new one is the same guy.
Is it?
The Starscream guy died, didn't he? So he now does both Starscream, but he has pulled back. He has said that he's no longer going to be Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime.
How come he's not doing it anymore?
He's well old now, isn't he?
He's very old.
Oh.
I think he's in his 60s
Probably
at
why,
least. But like, obviously, Transformers is changing. I don't know if you've seen. Spoiler alert. I've not even watched the new film, but G.I. Joe and Transformers are now a thing.
What?
Hasbro have joined them together as a... So you're going to see a guy in a samurai chasing after a robot, probably.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Oh my God! This we are living through the collab multiverse era of everything now.
Everything's a multiverse.
Yeah.
My
God.
That's it now. Like, beauticians can now be tattooists. They tattoo your eyebrows on and fake hair and stuff. How is that going to look like?
Okay.
How's that going to look like in 10 years' time? Like, dermals, like, you know, like tattoo ink goes a bit blue over time. Like, I know it's semi-permanent, but you're still gonna have remnants of ink.
I guess we'll find out in 30 years' time. Won't we?
Everyone's got blue heads. Dynamic black.
Yeah, dynamic blue from now on, isn't it? That's cool. That is. Your impressions are actually quite good, to be honest. But I think what we need to do is give you a list at some point and. See what else. Like how extensive is the range?
I don't know. It depends. If I hear it a few times, I can do it.
Okay, so you kind of need to like.
It's like
you need to hear it and absorb it a little bit.
I watched a lot of South Park, so it's like, thank you, Gav. You know, it's like Cartman. It's like Cartman's a bitch. There's a guy who I was friends with during lockdown. I couldn't tell you his name actually. He was a streamer, and he does TikToks. And he does like everyone. Homer, Bart, he does.
I've seen a video recently.
He's got like, he looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, yeah.
And he does like really good impressions. And he
seen
used to
a video
play.
Of that recently.
I played with him on, what did we play now? We were playing New World.
Yeah.
And he was on it.
How did you, like, you just jumped in a lobby together or something?
So like community chats and stuff like that on Twitch. When you go on, you can just watch anyone, can't you, on Twitch?
Yeah,
and I get bored sometimes, so I give the lower streamers a little bit of an uplifting.
Yeah.
So, how you doing? Anyway, got to meet him, but then he did voices and everything. Like, understandably, he could change his range so good.
Yeah.
Like, really good. I do it for fun. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, people actually go, you don't sound anything like him. Do you know what I mean? There's some people like, oh my God, you sound like him. So it depends. Maybe they've got a shit headset.
Blame the headset, that's it. A good workman blames their tools. A good impressionist blames the headset.
Yeah. But yeah, apart from that, like, I literally spend day to day nowadays. It's like get in 10 o'clock, 5:30 finish, go home, rinse myself dry of all the hanging sweat, blood and tears of the day, and then I go see my daughter for an hour. She reads to me, I read to her. She's 6 now, so she's got
a bit of a creative one as well.
She's very creative, actually.
She's going to be a tattooist, or
yeah, she's probably going to be the hardest apprentice that I'm going to ever have.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to make her do the worst things ever. So
let me ask you this then. When's the first time she's allowed to pick up a tattoo machine?
Oh, I don't know. EU regulations or British regulations.
Off the record regulations.
Off the record regulations. To be fair, I think there is no legal age to be able to tattoo.
Really? To get tattooed there is, but to
tattoo. Because I'm not going to name someone here, but there is a person from the place I first went to. He tattooed at 12 and started with his dad. And his dad's well known in that town. and he was tattooing at 12.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? He probably wasn't great until a few years later.
Until he was 14, yeah. He probably weren't great.
No, he's a brilliant artist now. But, like, I suppose it depends because kids nowadays, when they turn, 16, you can get a normal job that's paid by the government. Like, I think 16 is a good age for anyone to start tattooing.
I think you're still very naive and young, though, and you kind of don't really
You've got to
understand.
think your hands learn just as much as your brain does.
Yeah.
So, like, me drawing over the time, I don't draw anymore. I don't touch paper. I haven't done in years. I
Just all on the iPad.
Well, I actually freehand a lot of my work.
Oh, okay.
But I'd go from, like if I need to freehand a hand in or an arm or sometimes change the face. I do a lot of Japanese work, traditional Japanese work. Hence the banner there with the big dragon and the name.
Which I have to say, out of every guest that's turned up, it's the most creative, surface that we've been.
The actual image of the dragon, like I didn't finish. I drew it actually to the size of the banner, but imagine how big this would be if it was a full size dragon.
Yeah, I was going to say because like it's a big scale.
It's about 7 foot.
God's sake. So yeah, that's artwork, all nicely.
But
done
yes,
for
I
a
will let
banner,
her
but I mean,
tattoo when she's ready and make her make money for me.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So she could literally just learn everything.
I think
for like 10
it's
years.
such a obviously a lot of apprentices. I as a mentor, I've taught quite a few people, and some haven't survived. Some have become world famous. Some have become like multi-award-winning artists. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when I train people, I have a structure, but it's changed now. Back in the day, it was like tune this machine. Now it's just like up, down, left, right, twist.
Yeah, done.
That's literally tattooing.
Just make sure the hygiene's on point.
Yeah,
really
so
now,
the first thing I go through is obviously when they're in a shop, I go through all the hygiene with them. Cross-contamination.
Yeah.
I even say that what looks good in a portfolio, if you're not here, cross-contamination course. Go and do one. Like, I've done a first aid course. A lot of people don't do them, but like you're supposed to do them every 3 to 4 years or something like that. Obviously, I'm due one soon. But it's good to know these things, and once you go through these sort of like small courses, you've got that in your portfolio. Do you know what I mean? So anyone that wants to be in, but tattooing, the hardest part about tattooing is getting your foot in the door.
Is there anyone that's tattooing today still that's like a massive inspiration for you, or someone that you kind of like keep track of?
He's like become a friend of mine as well. Not particularly because of his tattoos. His tattoos are great. Like, I love all his work. I am impressed by the amount of design work he can produce whilst producing work, and that's Sean Newman.
Oh, okay.
He has got.
I presume you just seen him at Chapters.
I've just seen him at Chapters,
yeah.
But he's very like introvert, reserved kind of guy. You won't be able to get a lot out of him, but he shows so much potential, and he draws so much, and he's so creative. Now, I come from a game design point of view, and I used to do concept art, and that's the kind of area that he draws in.
Yeah.
And obviously, the way I draw in is both sort of concept art and graphically. So a lot of my stuff, I use 2 apps to create my work, and sometimes I freehand it. So yeah, Sean, Jamie Lee Knott, Anthony Lennox, they're all great artists.
Yeah.
There's loads in the industry I could name, but I couldn't say all. They all fizz out together.
Yeah.
It's the ones that you see, and usually it's the ones I'm competing against. Do you know what I mean?
They're the ones that drive you a bit further, though, don't they?
Well, yeah, like their work is super clean, super bright, super colourful.
Yeah.
And that's what people know me for, is super bright, super clean, super colourful.
All 3 of those chaps that you've just mentioned, I'd love to speak to them on here at some point as well, because they are. I mean, Jamie's doing seminars and everything as well now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So like, that's something to say. Like, I'm not saying it in a big-headed way, but like, you're good enough to teach other people in a room with an audience.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that, because
if someone asked you, can you do a seminar, you'd say no then?
I don't know. I think like Jamie's probably the better person to go to, because his work is clean, consistent, where I'm not consistent.
Yeah.
I'm like black and grey next tomorrow, and then dot work mandala the week after. So consistency is like, if you stick to doing like line, shade, packing colour, like the next day I'm like, it's that hitting it for colour. It's changed now. I'm doing soft shading, so it can get a little bit jarring and inconsistent. So I'll be able to teach them the grand spectrum of tattooing. So like the different aspects, lining from 1 to a 9 or 1 to an 18. Round shaders, you can line with round shaders. You can do this. Like obviously with colours as well. I could probably teach people how to pick colours better. Like, I don't conventionally go, there's a colour wheel, there's the tattoo, let's do this, that. I pick it by eye, and I know exactly what colours are what colours. Do you know what I mean? Because I've done it that much. I go, yep, that's canary yellow, that's minion yellow, that's you know, like gazelle from World Famous. Like, I just know. And when I see a piece of work, I'll use similar colours that I've used before, but I've got thousands of colours, and sometimes there's like a few in a shelf that's not even been opened yet, and I'm like, I might try that today. You know, I experiment. You know, I love to do it.
That's a good thing to do, though, isn't it? To keep experimenting with colours and shades. And
like my current colour palette. I don't know if you've looked. Have you noticed like the rusty orange that I've been using in the backgrounds to give it that mood?
What colour is that?
Rust.
Oh, it is actually rust.
Literally
from
rust.
World Famous, was it?
World Famous, yeah. So that's like a rust, and then there's like a royal blue from Electrum.
Nairobi blue.
I think so. It's like the night sky. Like, it's really bold, almost ceramic looking. Yeah, it's shiny. And I did that on a character's hair at Tattoo Freeze.
Oh, okay.
You know, but there are very similar ones. Like World Famous do a Paul Rogers set, and they've got like a blue in that. That's very similar, or Eternal. So my shelf is like 80% World Famous, and then all the other brands just fill up.
Just a bit of a mix, and
because some colours work, some colours don't, and depends on the skin. If you tattoo in a mechanic, you're never gonna get those.
Yeah.
Like, my worst colour is purple. Like that.
Really?
I hate purple as a colour. it's maybe I have to go a lot slower with purple and take my time with it. Whereas like you think yellow's it looks like a dead muddy, bloody colour, but I pack yellow, leave it to chill for 10 minutes, and it's perfect. Yeah. Whereas purple's like, I don't know if the ink decides like, I'm not going to go here today. You know what I mean? I've tried different ways, and I still think there's ways of learning. Even I'm learning today that different colours can be packed a different way. You know, maybe I put myself down a bit, but it could be the direction I do it that day, or someone's got better skin. There's a lot of factors. There's literally no perfect way of tattooing. There is definitely a wrong way. But
someone said that, I can't remember who they were, but they said there's no correct way to tattoo, but there's a lot of wrong ways to tattoo.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is it's a very good perspective to think. Because
some people say you go slow, run it slow, and
pull a line. Then everyone's got their own different colour in.
I hammer it in like acrylic paint, like I'm plastering a wall. I get it in.
That stuff in.
Obviously, it gets done probably the exact same amount of time, but I've noticed the way I do it, it's very old school. Like bam, 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 get it in, and it works. Yeah. And a lot of tattooists that do full saturated neo trad do that method. Yeah. So, and there's less time on the skin.
Yeah. Well, I personally think your work is spot on.
Thank you.
You got a lot of good colour portfolio out there. You do a lot of the stuff as well, and it's been good to speak to you, Lyndon. Thank you very much for being on Incast. And we'll see you. What's your next shows that you're doing this year?
So I'm doing TATCon Blackpool.
We'll be there for that one.
Yeah, I'll see you there. We're also doing Wolverhampton.
So we'll be there for that one as well.
Yeah, so that's Halloween Tattoo Bash, isn't
it?
Yeah.
Middle of October.
And then I've got like a first time prison Shrewsbury.
We've heard about this one as well. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. First time I'm in a prison cell and all. I think.
If you can remember.
If I can remember.
Awesome. Well, we'll see what those two shows do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And follow Lyndon on his Instagram and everything else that you're on. I presume it's just Instagram mainly though, isn't it?
Yeah, just Instagram and Facebook. Okay. The shop's called Minor Ink Tattoos, but I'm Lyndon Minor Tattooist.
There you go. Sorted. Done.
Thank you.
Podcast over.